What's the hubbub? Snyder Bros are still fuming over the fact that James Gunn is pulling off Brainiac in the cinematic realm. They can't handle it. They can't take it. Their souls are crushed for their edgelore. I wanted to give it up to comic book resources for a really solid editorial on James Gunn, breaking a 40-year curse on Superman. Man of Tomorrow is really all the Snyder Bros can talk about now.
People online, they don't even know who this guy is. John Campea said he don't even know who this guy is. So my thing to you guys, what is the selling point of Man of Tomorrow? Because Cornball is not an A-list actor. Nicholas Hoult isn't an A-list actor. None of the cast members are A-list actors. This guy definitely ain't an A-list actor. I know he's from Germany, I believe. Is this a way for James Gunn to boost his overseas audience? I mean, is this guy popular overseas? Based on first impressions, I think the guy sucks. If you guys know any movies he was in, please share in the comment section. But this is your Brainiac, and he looks like the James Gunn type. Low budget, menial, and cheap.
Oh, harsh critics, you don't know how to deep dive into the character and importance of Brainiac. We get it. No interesting takes, just shots fired at an actor that's more successful in life than you. Credit where it's due. Comic Book Resources recently dropped a genuinely sharp editorial pointing out that James Gunn's Superman, Man of Tomorrow, isn't just another reboot. It's the movie that finally breaks a 40-year Superman cinematic curse by doing the unthinkable, putting Brainiac on the big screen. And when you place that next to Zack Snyder's creative history with Superman, the contrast isn't subtle, it's instructional. Essentially, it has been 40 years of Superman playing it safe. For decades, Superman movies have treated villains like a comfort blanket, cycling endlessly between Lex Luthor and General Zod. New era, same two guys. Different coat, same problem. Zack Snyder's Man of Steel was no exception. Fans will passionately defend it as bold, revolutionary, or misunderstood. But strip away the operatic music and the rain-soaked angst, and you're left with another Zod story. This time it was louder, grayer, and steeped in existential dread, but still Zod. Even when Snyder teased future plans, Brainiac was always coming later. A cosmic IOU, a villain permanently stuck in pre-production limbo while the movies got scrapped, rebooted, retooled, or quietly buried. If Superman movies were a Spotify playlist, Snyder's era was stuck on repeat, and Brainiac was the track that never loaded. Over time, Brainiac stopped being a character and became a bad omen. Superman Reborn, cancelled. Superman Returns 2, cancelled. Man of Steel 2, cancelled harder than Cavill's Instagram apology tour.
He goes, I hope it goes well. That statement right there tells you that he knows this could end in disaster for himself. There is definitely some tensions running within the industry, within Warner Brothers, if anybody buys them. And James Gunn knows his time could be limited there. All right, so there you guys have it.
No, Aaron, having hope isn't a curse. Gunn is simply stating he hopes the Netflix buyout completes. As he's been reassured, they will let him cook. I know that's making a lot of Restore Snyder fans nervous. Where Zack Snyder failed, James Gunn will ambitiously take on the verse mantle to excel now. Gunn took one look at 40 years of abandoned Brainiac plans and made a radical creative choice. He wasn't afraid of them.
That's what this sounds like to me, chat. It seems to me like the James Gunn Glazers are working hard, working around the clock to promote the hell out of this movie. This movie right here. Right? Where you're going to get Superman.
Sorry, but no. Count who is he, what fans are doing is enjoying having an active verse. I know you Snyder simps can't imagine what that is like anymore. I mean, you sure can't even make video content without bringing up James Gunn on your own channel now. That's how little is going on with the SnyderVerse. You guys see a single picture of Cavill and make up weird confirmations that never happened. A picture of him in an old Reeve suit with skinny legs is shown, and the Snyder sexuals response? Oh baby, look at the calves on Cavill. He must be back, and the verse is restored. Like, what the hell is with your delusional obsession to make up outcomes that never happened? It's downright creepy. The truth is, Gunn is succeeding now where countless others failed. Man of Tomorrow, set for July 7, 2027, doesn't tease Brainiac. It doesn't hint. It doesn't promise eventually. Brainiac is the main villain. Casting confirmed. Movie locked. No hedging. At least 4 Superman films collapsed the moment Brainiac entered the conversation. Gunn announcing him so casually felt less like a press release and more like someone snapping a curse in half over their knee. That's not reckless. That's confidence. The funniest part, Gunn isn't being radical. Here's where it really gets embarrassing for the Snyder cult. Gunn isn't reinventing Brainiac at all. He's just using him correctly, no grounding him into a tech bro with a headset. No apologizing for the weirdness. No pretending comic book ideas are radioactive. Instead, Gunn's DCU is likely encompassing multiple versions of Brainiac. I'll bet creatively he is leaning into bottled cities, Kryptonian supercomputers, and AI, planetary extinction threats. A villain so big, Superman might need to team up with Lex Luthor, a threat that actually justifies forming the Justice League. For 40 years, studios treated Brainiac like he was too strange, too risky, or too comic booky. Gunn realized the problem was never Brainiac, it was the refusal to commit. Zod again versus turning the page. When you line the approaches up, the difference is brutal. Snyder's Superman reused the safest villains imaginable, grounded everything until it turned beige, treated comic weirdness like a liability, asked repeatedly, what if gods were sad? Gunn's Superman picked the villain Hollywood avoided for 4 decades, embraced scale, camp, and sci-fi insanity, used comic lore without apology, asked a better question. What if Superman fought the villain he's been denied for 40 years? If Man of Tomorrow delivers, it won't just debut Brainiac, it'll prove Superman movies don't need to recycle Zod to feel important. Sometimes making history just means opening a comic book and not flinching. Why the Snyder cult can't admit this works. The resistance to Gunn isn't really about Gunn. It's about being emotionally trapped in a DC universe that no longer exists. The SnyderVerse has no active projects, no studio backing, no scripts, no roadmap. Yet, some fans treat it like it's one hashtag away from resurrection. Praising Gunn even a little would require admitting the future has moved on. And that's the one thing they can't do. As long as Gunn is not serious enough or disrespectful, they don't have to face the uncomfortable truth. Snyder's era didn't end because it was misunderstood genius. It ended because Warner Brothers chose a different direction and isn't looking back. What makes it sting is that Gunn keeps succeeding where Snyder stalled. He's announcing projects, locking release dates, casting actors, building an actual slate. And worst of all, he's using DC Comics without apology. Brainiac finally arriving exposes the past for what it was. Not daring but cautious, not bold but repetitive, promising bigger things later that never came. Nostalgia as identity. For some fans, defending the SnyderVerse isn't about movies anymore. It's about defending themselves, their time, their online wars, their emotional investment. Admitting Gunn might be doing something right feels like invalidating years of fighting studios, critics, and other fans. So instead, they freeze the conversation in 2016-2021, endlessly relitigating Batman, Superman, demanding restorations, and treating every DCU announcement as a personal attack. The irony? While they accuse Gunn fans of being shills, they're championing a universe with no movies, no future, and no path forward. The reality check, comic book resources, editorial unintentionally highlights the cleanest dividing line in modern DC fandom. One side is moving forward, the other is arguing with history. James Gunn finally bringing Brainiac to the big screen isn't just trivia, it's symbolic. It marks the end of decades of creative fear and repetition. It shows that Superman's future doesn't lie in endlessly revisiting the same trauma. It lies in finally turning the page. The SnyderVerse isn't sleeping. It isn't paused. It's concluded. Gunn's DCU isn't competing with it. It replaced it. The final verdict is simple. Zack Snyder gave us a Superman trapped in an endless cycle of Zod-related trauma. James Gunn gives us the end of a 40-year cinematic curse. Brainiac's first live-action movie appearance, a cosmic threat worthy of a shared universe, proof that Superman doesn't need the same two villains on loop. If Man of Tomorrow sticks the landing, it won't just be a win for Gunn. It'll be a win for every Superman fan who's been asking, can we please fight someone else now? And in 2027, the answer is finally, yes, we can. With that, it's today's hubbub. Please comment down below. If you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate it so I can keep you in the loop. Hit subscribe and tap the notification bell, and you can be updated when new videos drop. I do updates, rumors, scoops, fun editorials, and it's a free-flowing discussion community for civil debate on movie fandoms, such as the DCU and DCEU sides to have some dialogue. Look up, not back. No SnyderVerse, no problem. Wallets open to the active Gunn DCU verse. Until next time, take care of yourselves and others.